Okay, I want to kind of swing back a little bit. We interviewed you during your race the first time. What are some of the things that you had wanted to accomplish then that you have accomplished? Can you list those for us? What are the things that you've made substantial, measurable differences with the bills that you have done or with the people that you have talked to in the executive branch? And I ask it from the standpoint of one of the best videos I've ever seen was you testifying at a hearing, and you listed every single tax that you paid, and I put that up on GraniteGrok, and I thought that was just so great. And I was flummoxed by the time you were done that you knew every single one of those major taxes and how much it cost your business. And I'm thinking, you could have hired a couple of few people for the amount of taxes.
I mean, more than a couple. One of the challenges I believe we have as business owners and taxpayers, which is why we constantly have such a conversation about the property tax, and everyone's so upset about it. The reality is it's not the biggest tax most of us pay, but it's the tax that we know the number of. Now, in my little restaurant that we're sitting in tonight, when I did this thing you talked about, I made a decision as a business owner, and I think every single person and every single business owner needs to start doing this. When we talk about transparency, you should know every single tax you pay. Because remember, there's 4 taxes on your phone bill. There's 4 taxes on your electric bill. There's a 2% surcharge tax on every piece of insurance that you pay. So if you really go through and dig in all of the taxes you pay and how much you pay, remember, 18 cents a gallon on your gasoline tax. I paid 41 separate taxes in my little company. And when I did what you talked about, I paid 246% of my take-home pay, what I actually deposited into my checking account. 246% of my take-home pay in taxes.
Doesn't that indicate that there are too many revenue streams for the ordinary person to keep track of?
No, I disagree with that. It doesn't make a difference how many revenue streams there are. We have an obligation to keep track of them, and the reality is we haven't been keeping track of them. And just as taxpayers, because so many of them have become so incrementalized, because with there's 4 taxes on your phone bill, you don't look at them every month. If there's, you know, the 18 cents per gallon on your gas, you don't notice that either. I think we need to add it up at the end of the year. Yeah. I think people really need to know what their tax rate is.
Okay. Well, I know that we've gone long here. We promised that we'd only take up a few minutes of your time, and I'm quite sure that it's to the point now where we're going to have to come back and do some more.
One more quick thing, so let's answer the other one.
Well, I have one last question anyway.
What didn't we get? Is it what didn't we get done?
Okay. Go ahead.
When we talk about why I wanted to come back, there were some things we truly did not get done. Obviously, for me, the biggest thing is we need to completely reform how our government operates. Again, we haven't done it in 30 years. But the other thing that really sticks in my craw, the number one thing people talk about today, even on and above taxes, on and above regulation, it's our problem with insurance. Now, I put forth a program and a piece of legislation to try and deal with that. If you remember, when I started my first company 20 years ago, there were 22 different healthcare providers competing for my trust in my business. Now today, specifically as a result of legislative action, going back to Gene Shaheen, there's only 2.5. Technically 2.5, but really just 2. We have some of the highest insurance costs in America, but yet we have some of the healthiest people and one of the oldest demographics. We need to address our challenge with healthcare and health insurance. A piece of legislation to go back and knock down those walls and allow people to allow people to buy health insurance across state lines. I think that it is one of the most important things we need to do to ensure we have access to affordable health care.
It's one of those deals where Gene Shaheen passed HB 711, which scared everybody off. And now, a few years later, she's one of the champions of Obamacare because she used the force of government to disrupt the marketplace, and now she feels that government and only government can now fix the problem that, gee, government created. This is what happens when politicians think that they can actually or should be dribbling into people's lives. My last question for you is, if people want to help, if people want to find out more about what you are all about, what your stances on the issues are, how do they get a hold of you?
It's easy. On every piece of information that I have and I give to people, I give them my cell phone number, I give them my email address, I give them my website. So we'll start with the last first. My website is very simple, andysanborn.com. My email address is andy@andysanborn.com, and my cell phone number is 682-1165.
In area code 603.
It's New Hampshire, baby.
Well, we're still one of two states that has only one area code. Thank you very much. Well, Andy Sanborn, I want to say thank you very much for spending more than a few minutes with GraniteGrok.
Anytime, Grok guys.
All right, take care.
Thanks.
GrokTV.